So having swept for everything we need to sweep for, and having secured some new allies and sorted out our own marriages and made sure our kids are being educated, we're now ready to fight our second war against Dyrrachium. So let's go to war. Declare war. We've got more troops when we group up together. We want our claim. We can go for the county of Dyrrachium. It costs us 125 prestige, which is worth noting, because when we do this, we've now declared war. We're going to need to call in our allies. And there's probably no point calling in our wife's father. He doesn't have a lot of troops, and it would cost us to bring him in. So we're just going to call in him, which is going to cost 75. And then we're also going to call in the Duke of Anatolikon. Try saying that after a few beers. So we're also going to raise our own troops. And something I'm just going to point out now is you can actually move this little flag nearer the front if you want to. All you do is you click this button here, move rally point, and you click on the place you want it at. Now actually I'm not going to do that, because remember, we need all of our troops to group up before we can go. So I'm actually going to move it to Matzovio here, just so we're near the Thessaloniki, the nearer the territory over here for our first ally, because we know our other ally is going to be coming across the sea from this direction as well. So we're there. We're now going to raise all our troops here. And we now have our army. Now, in come our allies. He should hopefully march to join us again. Now, we've just got to watch out, because there's a risk we get sandwiched between these troops. So once again, we're just going to move out of the way. Remember, this is all about manoeuvre and just thinking ahead and not getting caught out. And as long as we don't get caught out, we're going to win this war. And now we've got some reinforcements, because otherwise they might try and join up. We're going to just try and fight them individually. Now, while we're moving to fight this war and while we're fighting it, let's just actually, we'll unpause this and we'll do this. I'll just get this going. So, they're now ready to reinforce us. Get in there and fight that, because they'll follow us in. We're not going to quite get there in time, but we will see if we can catch him. There we go, we've caught him. And our allies are turning up as well, so that's perfect. Now, we've unlocked a new stewardship slot. So now that battle is finished and we're gradually picking up war score and our allies are doing their thing, we're going to go down and beat them in a second. We're going to take another stewardship point. And fort level and garrison size is actually surprisingly useful for us right now this minute, so we're going to take that one. But we're also going to think, is this now the right time to change our focus? And I think the answer is, for us, yes. So we're actually going to flip to diplomacy, and this is a really useful one to know, particularly early game when you've not had a chance to build in those nice genetic traits to your kids yet. Is one of the traits on the diplomacy lifestyle is called Groom to Rule, which means your kids get a bonus 1 to 3 extra skill points. It's very, very useful. But also, we're getting a bit low on prestige. And remember, we need prestige to fight wars. It's how we start these wars, it's how we're calling our allies. So actually, for us right now, I think we're going to flip and we're going to go to the Majesty focus, which gives us a prestige boost and allows us to build up this expertise instead, and then we'll unpick Groom to Rule. So just always think about when it's useful to change what you're on. Now we want our reinforcements to follow us here, which they are. That's good. And these gents know that they're probably going to lose, which is why they're running away. And we should catch them there. And they came in to help. And that's 2 battles won. And as you can see, the AI is still sieging down up here. We're going to go help him, because we don't want him leaving that spot at the last minute. Now, while we're fighting this war, remember we've got a lot of stress and we do want some more prestige. And I did say earlier that one of the ways you can get prestige is by hosting feasts and calling hunts, which would help you. And for us, it doesn't relieve any stress to call a hunt, it just gives us prestige. So we're going to host a feast. It costs 100, and we can't afford that. And we're going to host this feast, because we wouldn't be able to do this if we were personally commanding the troops, but we're not, so we can. And as we did it, looks like our our steward has just stabbed our spymaster in the face. And I believe he's just killed him. So, well, isn't that useful? Now, if we remember, Mayor Eugenus is actually a bit rubbish. Oh no, it's Eunicus. Eugenius is quite good. We're going to actually tell him we'll keep it a secret as long as he gives us some money, which is actually going to lose us some stress because we're greedy. Does mean we need a new spy master. So let's just have a look and see if there's anyone vaguely decent at being a spy master who doesn't hate us. Now, the answer is he's not that bad. He's mostly annoyed because he's not on the council. So let's give him the job, and he is actually positive, so that's fine now that we've given him the job. Now, what we probably want to do is we're just watching these troops down here to see where they're going. Because the nice thing is our allies are doing all the sieging down we need. And if you were playing this, you'd be reading these events. I know what these events are, so I'm just clicking through them. They're not important to us right now. But they are probably going to come and attack us because they know that if they lose this territory, they lose. And that is not good news at all. Our son is a leper. So we're going to send for a physician. This is why we got married again. And I don't think either of these people are particularly good at being physicians, so no. This is why we married our daughter, matrilineally, remember? Because we said, well, we might need her still. Chances are we're going to need her, because our son is a leper. He's probably not going to live to see... I mean, he's got a severe health penalty there. It's not a good trait to have. He's probably not going to live very long. But luckily, we're married again. And there we go. Duchess Theognosia is pregnant. Hopefully, it's a boy. That's 99. Now, this will tick up to 100 because we already control the territory we need to conquer. And there we go. That is our second war won. And now you can see we've expanded out to take this territory. Now, this is the duchy we want to create. This is Dyrrachian, remember. We want to get this title. He's now lost this title because he doesn't control enough territory proportionately to have this title anymore. So this territory is title is there now for the creation for the first person who owns 3 counties within that territory. So if we look at it again, we can see here the rules down here. We need 3 de jure counties, so 3 of the counties in this territory, and then it's going to cost us 175, and then we'll be able to create that title and we'll get a ton of prestige for doing so. That means we're going to need to do another war. And if you look, Count Thomas is still the person we're going to have to fight for one of those 2 counties. So we're going to have to go again and fabricate a claim, and we will start with that one there. Now, one thing we might want to consider is, are any of these territory any good? Avalonus is better than Dyrrachian is, I think. Oh no, Dyrrachian's decent. So, that's our second war won. And it's good news for us. That's our second war done. What we're going to need to do is fabricate another claim, and then we'll go for round 3. But I'm just going to hang on, and we'll see soon whether our wife manages to pop us out another son. She's pregnant for 6 months, 7 months, well, 7 months in a second. And we can disband our troops. Never forget to disband your troops because they're costing you money while they're formed up. How are we looking at buildings while we're waiting? Right, well actually we can raise this to a 2nd level. Yeah, I reckon it's probably worth it. We're going to need a lot of gold for... well, we're going to need 100 gold again. That's fine. We have another son. He's called Anastasius. He is sterile. We're not having a lot of luck with kids right now. So we've got a leper and a sterile kid. And this is the beauty of CK3. We might actually have to do something about both those kids. But in the meantime, What we're going to do is I'm going to jump forward to War 3, because when we finish this next war off, we're going to have some interesting things to do, because we are very, very close to achieving our kind of starter goal here of forming a kingdom. So I will join you back when either we get a really useful event to explain, or when we hit the point where we can fight our next war.
Mm-hmm.